Hey guys, welcome to the video. My name is Joyce and I am a recovered sex and love addict. In this video, I will share 5 clarifying questions that you can ask yourself if you're wondering, when do I end a relationship? How do I know when it's right? What's a valid reason to end a relationship? Oftentimes, people in this situation are quick to point fingers. At the end of the day, you can't control what they do. You can only change yourself and you can only control your own actions, your own feelings, your own beliefs. This is an opportunity for you to look deeper within yourself and find out, okay, what is this really about? I just want to hit key questions that you should be asking yourself if you're considering ending a relationship with someone. It's a difficult decision to make, but if you do it with intention, you'll be able to grow a lot from the experience, whether or not you break up with this person. So if you're confused and you don't know whether or not to break up with someone, let's jump right into the video. The first question that you really need to ask yourself is, what is the issue? This might seem obvious, but I've seen that a lot of couples argue a little bit about one thing and then it turns into something else and it gets real nasty, right? The first key step is to identify the very specific issue that is causing tension or causing conflict in your relationship. That helps to clarify things. If it's all over the place, you don't know what problem to solve. So, first thing is, what is the specific issue that is creating tension in the relationship? Along with this question, you need to be asking, is it a one-time thing? Or is it something that's recurring? Is it a pattern in the relationship? The second question is, have you tried to communicate about that issue? Not only is it, have I communicated about the specific issue, but also, have I communicated in a way that they receive? I could honestly write an entire thesis on this subject. Generally, how are you communicating the issue to your partner? Are you being passive aggressive? Are you talking vaguely around the issue because you believe that they should know why you're upset? A simple solution or a simple framework that I like to follow is based on nonviolent communication. It's communication that's based on your needs. I would start with this. Use an I statement to just tell the person how you feel. Name a specific emotion. I feel XYZ because I. And it is so easy to say, I feel angry because you fill in the blank. Oftentimes we blame and we accuse the other person instead of taking ownership of how we feel and what we need from that person. The first step is just to express how you really feel. And oftentimes that is difficult to name the specific emotion. We grow up in a culture where we don't have a lot of vocabulary for how we feel. We have sad, angry, happy. That's about it. A great tip is to look off of an emotions list. And I can also link that down below. If you look at the list, you choose the word that you most identify with. There's a lot more that goes into it, but that is definitely one of my top tips to try and will shift the dynamic of your relationship if you're able to just, first of all, be aware of how you feel and also to express how you feel in a way that doesn't put the other person on the defensive. Now, the third question is, what is my pattern in relationships? If you are to make a hefty decision like whether or not to end a relationship with somebody, you want to make the decision intentionally. You want to make the decision consciously. If you're operating out of a pattern, then you're not operating consciously. So this question is trying to figure out, what is it that you do regardless of whoever the other person is? To realize that, hey, maybe it has nothing to do with the other person, but it has everything to do with how I view relationships, how I express love, and how I perceive love. The fourth question I want to ask you is, do you know yourself? This is honestly key. It may seem irrelevant, but knowing yourself, having that self-awareness is so crucial. in any relationship. That's what people mean when they say, hey, a relationship should be about two whole people coming together, not two halves completing each other. What that really looks like in a relationship is two people who are dependent on each other. Maybe because of that dependence, they've built up a lot of resentment because the other person isn't living up to expectations or their ideal of what a partner should do and be. But in order to really find who you are as a separate individual and whole person, you need to be able to know and express what are your values, what are your dreams, and what are your needs. Ask all of these things separate from this person. If this person were not in my life, what is it that I want and need and dream of? On one side, there are the very clear-cut differences, right? If your dream is to have children and they don't want children, don't bank on the fact that they're going to change their mind or that you're going to change your mind. Take that space to think, hey, if I was able to do anything I wanted, I had all the money in the world, I wasn't limited by my past, what would my future self be doing? Would you be traveling off, starting your own business? You need to figure out what is it that you want. If you haven't asked those questions yet, it's not too late. You can still figure that out. I've found personally for myself that these questions are easier to ask when you're single. It makes sure you're not being pulled by the other person's desires and their dreams and their wants. As somebody who was fairly codependent, I make very intentional decisions to make sure I know what I like and I want before even asking them. So I'll just share a personal example. I was exploring faith and I was exploring going to church and Christianity. There was a guy that invited me to go and I had feelings for him. I made a decision to go to church without asking him, hey, are you going to be at church today? What service are you going to? I could genuinely be interested in going to church and exploring my faith. I will never know for sure until I separate the two things that I really want to do at that place, right? I want to see this guy and I also want to learn more about faith and Christianity. In order to separate it, you owe it to yourself to see which one is it really. You don't want to get to the end of a relationship and realize your entire identity was revolved around them. Like if things went badly with this guy that I liked and then realizing, oh, actually I never had an interest in church at all and I was only going just for him. That is a place where you start feeling like your identity falls to pieces. You're not sure of what you want and what you like because you focus so much on their wants and their likes. So if you're somebody who tends to do this, you've really got to challenge yourself to make decisions first before asking people. You get to build a relationship with yourself as if you're building a relationship with somebody you just met. It's almost like a honeymoon period with yourself. And when you can truly choose something that you like and love and enjoy, you have true confidence. No matter your environment, whether you're dating somebody or not, this is who you are. Our identities are fluid. It is impacted by the people we surround ourselves with, but it's important we value our opinion, we value our perspective, and that we're not always automatically looking to the other person to help us define ourselves. Asking them, hey, do I look cute in this outfit? It doesn't matter what they think. It just matters that do you feel cute in this outfit? You know, I'm going down a little bit of a rabbit hole here. At the end of the day, you're trying to figure out when to end a relationship. And the reason I bring up self-identity and self-awareness, it's really hard to know when to end a relationship if you don't know who you are and what your values are and what you like. Now you are just depending on the other person or the situation to define you. That's going to be really difficult to tell in a clear-cut way when to end a relationship. Your whole identity is so enmeshed with this person, you're losing a whole part of your identity and your personality and your lifestyle, and that's difficult. It's important to recognize where you're at in your self-discovery, self-awareness journey so that you can figure out for yourself if this person's values align with yours or not, if this person's priorities align with yours or not. The fifth and final question I want to ask you is, fairly related to the last one. This fifth question is, do you know what you want in a partner, and do you know what you want in a relationship? I separated these two questions because they are really separate things, right? One is self-focused, the other is outwardly focused. The reality is the foundation is self-awareness and knowing what your values are, what your dreams are, what your priorities are, before you can even think about what do I want in a partner. What you know about yourself and how you work as a filter, filtering out potential partners. At least in monogamous relationships, there's only two options. You either stay with this person forever or you don't. This is no hate, no judgment against poly folks. Totally understand the appeal of poly, but it does add a layer of complexity to the equation. Like, is this the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with? If your only two choices are yes or no, it makes the decision a lot easier. And I want to give you two tips in relation to this question. The first tip is, what is the life that you imagine with your future partner? But not your current partner, just a partner, an ideal partner. What is the life that you imagine? So for example, for myself, while I was rewriting my narrative and figuring out what do I want in a future partner? And so I made a list. This isn't stuff based on preferences. You need to think about your future. Use your ideal future to be a filter for who you're willing to invest in a relationship. For example, I hope to have kids someday. What I also know is that I want my kids to live a happy and stable life. In order for them to do that, they need to have a very present, a very stable, a very healthy father. In order for me to even have that future, then you start kind of debating with yourself, right? Like, would I be okay with somebody that doesn't make any money at all? I want my future to be a future where I have kids and they're happy. Kids take money, they take time, they take energy. And so already I can pick out traits that I need my partner to have in order for me to live this future. I want to have a partner that can be a great father to my children. What I mean by great is they have to be self-aware. They have to have a proven track record. He has to have a heart for people who have less privilege than him. I literally have on my list a little bit of spice. They have to have humor and a certain amount of spontaneity. I kind of judged myself while making this list. Like, Joyce, do you really need that? Like, is that a must-have? And I took a step back and I asked myself, if I had everything else on this list, if they checked off every other box and yet we didn't mesh with our sense of humor, or we just didn't have that spark, it won't work out, right? So it's important not to judge yourself in this process, but also to be self-aware enough to know what on your list is a result of what you're used to versus what you really need and want in your future. The second part of knowing what you want in a partner is asking yourself, how do you want to feel in a relationship? This question and this realization was really huge for me. I constantly found myself drawn towards individuals that are avoidant. And that would create a lot of anxiety within me. I never felt like I was enough for them. And I tried my best to tamp down that anxiety, to be strong, basically to lie about who I really am. Not that I will forever be this anxious person, but it's recognizing that, hey, this was how I was programmed and these are the tendencies that I have. That's okay. But if you're feeling anxious all the time, that is probably not a relationship that is very good for you. And yes, a lot of it is like, okay, how can I change? How can I be better? But you have to recognize that if you're going to stay with this person forever, oftentimes that dynamic doesn't really change. If you're feeling anxious all the time, or you're feeling really suffocated all the time, that most likely won't change. Do everything that you can, but recognize that, hey, what is my ideal relationship? How do I feel in that relationship? Think about your best friend. How do you feel about them? How do you feel like farting around them or like being yourself? Like you probably feel super comfortable. You don't even think about it. Contrast that with the partner you're with now. Do you always feel like you're on edge, or that you have to prove something, or that you don't feel good enough for them? If you've asked yourself all of these questions, what is the specific issue? Have you communicated it, and how have you communicated it? What is your past pattern with relationships? Who are you? What do you want in a partner? Honestly, all of these can go super, super deep. So take time to digest, to weigh the options. If you're still feeling really confused, even after answering all these questions and learning about myself, like, when do I do it? Like, when is it appropriate or right or valid to end a relationship with someone? And the reality is, no one can answer that question except for you. But what's important for you moving forward is based on what you're learning about yourself, what you're aware about yourself. Set some firm boundaries, because you don't want to be in a relationship where you say, oh, they messed up, but it's okay. Like, I can push through. I can be the glue that holds us together. Set some firm boundaries based on who you are and what you want and what you need, and then stick to those boundaries. Relationships are about give and take. More often than not, it is about giving rather than taking. So I understand if you're watching this video, you may be somebody who is a total empath and your heart just bleeds for people. I totally get that, because that's me too. The reality is, you need to set firm boundaries. This is something that Brené Brown says: the most compassionate people are the ones that have the best boundaries. And that is because compassionate people are not giving themselves needlessly. They realize that they have limits. By being able to set boundaries, you're able to control your outcomes a lot better. So based on that research by Brené Brown, you give it your all. But you give it within the bounds of your integrity. You give it within the bounds of the resources you have available to you. That requires you knowing what your needs and your wants are. It is no one else's responsibility to get your needs met. Because if you are a whole, sufficient person, then you get what you need. And when you cannot get that anymore, you have to be firm and say, hey, my needs are not being met. And that's not advantageous for either of us, because needs are necessary. So don't downplay your needs. If this is what you truly need, then fight for that. Because if your needs aren't being met, it's difficult to thrive as a person. And if you're not thriving, then you're not giving the best of yourself in a relationship. So that's what I want to leave you with. Yes, love and relationships are about giving and sacrificing within the bounds of your needs. When you reduce it down to the very bare essentials, is this person meeting your needs? You don't need to compromise yourself, your integrity, your values to be with someone. You're enough. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button. This channel is to help you improve your relationships, because at the end of the day, we are not islands. Thanks again for watching. This is Joyce, and I will see you in the next episode.